stating that, quote, "I am good at using guns and knives," unquote.
What if one of the world's biggest R&B stars wasn't just dodging paparazzi, but dodging enemies? What if behind platinum records, sold-out arenas, and viral dance clips, there was a secret deal? Sealed with silence, sealed with fear. Chris Brown, Big U. A $100,000 protection payment, 20,000 wiretaps, a star witness ready to talk. This isn't just another celebrity scandal. This could be the biggest story tying music to the streets since the days of Death Row Records, and the clock may be running out. Let's start with the core rumor. Chris Brown allegedly paid Big U, a powerful and deeply connected LA figure, $100,000 for personal protection. Big U isn't just a random street legend. He's known for being a Crip affiliate, but more than that, he's a key player who operates at the intersection of gang culture and the music industry. This wasn't just some hired muscle. This was strategic. Big U has protected and mentored names like Nipsey Hussle and worked behind the scenes with artists like Wiz Khalifa. So when the rumor surfaced that Chris dropped 6 figures for protection from Big U, the entire industry raised an eyebrow. Why? Because when you pay that kind of money, it usually means 2 things. You're scared, or you're in deep. Chris Brown has long been connected to the Bloods, specifically the Fruit Town Piru set. He's been seen throwing up blood signs in music videos, tagging Fruits Peru in social media posts, and associating with individuals tied to gang life. But this wasn't just for show. After his stint in jail, Chris came back swinging, flashing signs at BET after-parties, showing off his affiliations online, and taking it all a step further. In fact, many began to suspect that Chris wasn't just aligned with the set, he may have been invested in it. When Soulja Boy spoke out and confirmed that both he and Chris were embraced by the Fruit Town Peru and had paid dues, it gave even more weight to the speculation. These weren't surface-level associations. These were relationships built on blood, loyalty, and possibly business. In hip-hop, many artists throw gang signs or use coded language to boost their image. It gives them an edge, a layer of authenticity. But with Chris Brown, things always felt different. He didn't just rap about the lifestyle, he lived it. Whether it was tagging gang references on vacation in Hawaii, name-dropping Fruit Town Peru on Twitter, or clapping back at Jay-Z by flaunting his street ties, Chris seemed to be signaling that this wasn't an act. This was his life. The question is, was this out of loyalty, fear, or control? To understand how this all connects, you need to understand who Big U is. Big U is more than a gang leader. He's a fixer, a guide, a man who can get you in or out of the toughest parts of Los Angeles. For years, artists have leaned on him to move safely through LA without getting pressed, checked, or worse. But Big U's world is complicated. Some see him as a community leader. Others see him as a man who trades protection for power. And when it was leaked that Chris may have dropped $100,000 into Big U's pocket, it raised the question, was it mentorship or was it extortion? Then came the biggest bombshell yet, alleged 20,000 wiretaps. Whispers began to circulate that law enforcement had been tracking conversations involving Big U, and possibly others in his orbit. If true, this surveillance would be massive. Not just a few calls, but entire networks, multiple phones, and hours of audio evidence. If Chris Brown's name is even mentioned in those tapes, it could drag him into a legal nightmare, especially if money changed hands, if violence was discussed, or if influence over music or street dealings was mentioned, this goes beyond reputation. This enters criminal territory. Adding fuel to the fire is the rumored existence of a star witness, someone reportedly tied closely to both Chris and Big U. This person, still unnamed, is said to be preparing to testify with first-hand knowledge of the alleged deal. That's not speculation. That's a potential time bomb. A credible witness could take this from hearsay to hard evidence. They could confirm whether money changed hands, whether it was for safety or silence, whether Chris was a victim or a participant. This isn't the first time Chris Brown has been near serious danger. In 2014, Suge Knight was shot at a 1OAK nightclub party hosted by Chris. The fallout was massive. Suge filed lawsuits claiming gang involvement, and many speculated that the incident was tied to Chris's affiliations. Though the case never fully unraveled, it showed that Chris wasn't just playing dress-up with gang culture. When bullets fly at your events and big names get hit, the world takes notice. And now, nearly a decade later, that violent history is resurfacing in a new, darker context. Akon once said something haunting. The only artist that could have matched Michael Jackson was Chris Brown, but he surrounded himself with the wrong people. Those words sting even more now, because Chris wasn't just a talented singer. He was a generational performer. The dance moves, the voice, the energy, he had it all. But instead of building a legacy with creatives and visionaries, he allegedly aligned himself with gang figures and street politics. Akon's not the only one who saw it. Industry insiders have quietly distanced themselves from Chris, even as fans continue to show support, because talent might sell records, but reputation sells trust. There's a bigger problem here. Chris's story isn't unique, it's just high profile. Artists in LA have long relied on street alliance to move safely, gain clout, or protect themselves. From the death row days to modern hip-hop, the lines between gang life and music have blurred. What makes Chris's situation different is the scale. A 6-figure payment, a feared protector, a federal spotlight, and now, the possibility of legal consequences that could end his career or worse. Even if Chris escapes legal charges, the damage is already there. Brands are watching, promoters are pausing, fans are questioning. This isn't just about one rumor anymore, it's about perception. In today's media landscape, once your name gets tied to crime, violence, or gang activity, even loosely, it sticks. And for someone like Chris, whose image has always been fragile, this might be the last straw. His music may still play, his videos may still get views, but his legacy, it's under review. So now we ask, can Chris Brown break free from this? Can he shed the street politics, rebuild his image, and focus on the music that once made him a legend? Or is it too late? Is he too deep, too tied to the wrong people, the wrong deals, and the wrong choices? Because this isn't just about a payment, it's about a pattern. And patterns don't lie. The industry is watching. The streets are talking. The feds may be listening. The next move Chris makes won't just define his career. It might define his freedom. What do you think? Was the $100,000 payment a smart move for protection, or a desperate act from a man trapped by his own image? Do you believe the wiretaps are real? Is the witness credible? And what happens next if this case explodes? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Hit like, subscribe, and stay tuned, because this story is far from over.